Hi, I'm Lucy from Sew Essential and I'm here today to take a closer look at the Janome M100 QDC, just one of hundreds of sewing machines available to buy on our site sewessential.co.uk. At Sew Essential, we pride ourselves on using our expert knowledge to help you find the perfect machine for you, and that's why I've made this video, but we're also always here to support you by phone or email too. The M100 QDC has all the same great features as the M50 QDC, plus a few exciting extras. So you also get the thread snips button, which cuts your threads at the touch of a button, or you can program the machine to do it for you. And it includes 100 stitches, so that's utility and decorative stitches, including 7 different styles of one-step buttonhole. Like the M50 QDC, it's one of the prettiest machines in the range thanks to the lovely colourful logo, the neat control pad and the pin cushion. It also comes with a bonus pack of feet, giving you 11 sewing machine feet to get started with and a free extension table. You also get a hard cover included, the start-stop button so that you can sew without the foot control, needle up down to enable you to sew with real precision and accuracy, the target stitch so you don't have to reverse to secure your stitches and you can create a really neat finish, the sliding speed control so that you can sew as quickly or slowly as you want to. And I just want to say that the control panel is one of my favourite features on this range of machines because it just makes selecting the stitches and adjusting the length and the width so quick and easy to do so that you're able to get on with your sewing. I'll pop a link in the corner of the screen so you can take a closer look on our website and purchase it there. Later in the video, I'll show you what comes in the box, but now let's get started with what this brilliant machine can do for you. Like all Janome machines, the M100 QDC is incredibly easy to thread, and we start by winding the bobbin. So place a reel of thread on the spool pin and then use one of the spool caps to secure it. You get 4 of these included with the machine, 2 small and 2 large, to work with different size reels of thread. Bring the thread around the metal thread guide on top of the machine and you should feel it click into place and feel some tension applied if you pull the thread. Then take one of the bobbins and pass the thread through the hole on top of the bobbin like so. And then you push the bobbin down onto the bobbin winder. You'll feel that click into place and push it to the right. And the machine now knows it's in bobbin winding mode. So if I apply pressure to the foot control, it will start to wind. Or if the foot control is not plugged in, you can also use the stop start button to do this. So I'm just going to use the foot control now. And once you've got a few rotations on, you can just snip off the excess thread and continue winding the bobbin. You'll notice here there's a hole on top of the machine, and that's so that you can insert the second spool pin, which is also included with the machine and allows you to sew with a twin needle, which allows you to create 2 lines of parallel stitching at the same time. On top of the machine here is the presser foot pressure dial, and that can be adjusted to help you sew with different thicknesses of fabric. And then on the front of the machine here, it's the needle thread tension dial, and that can be adjusted to alter your needle thread tension. To insert the bobbin, just slide the bobbin case cover off like so, and then take the bobbin with the thread coming down the left-hand side, drop it into the bobbin case, bring it through the notch on the front of the bobbin case and around the guide at the front here. And then bring it up and around past number 1, down to number 2, and you can just cut your excess thread there, then replace the bobbin case cover and you're ready to sew. There's no need to bring the bobbin thread up on this machine, but if you want to, you have got that option if you want to do some gathering, for example. To thread the needle, the first thing you need to do is make sure the foot is raised. So reach under the arm of the machine and there's a lever there so that you can raise the presser foot. Then we also need to make sure that the take-up lever is in the correct position. So you can do this either by turning the hand wheel towards you and that will bring it up, Or you can use the button for needle up down on the front of the machine here, and that will bring it up into the correct position too. Take the thread around thread guide number 1 on top of the machine, down through thread guide number 2, under thread guide number 3, and then back to the top, and from right to left through the take up lever, which is thread guide number 4, and then bring the thread down the front of the machine. To finish threading the needle, press needle up down twice, and that will bring the needle into the correct position to use the needle threader. Bring the thread down and behind the thread guide here at the front of the machine, from right to left. Then you're going to go from left to right behind the thread guide here in front of the needle. Use the lever to draw the needle threader down. Take the thread around the guide at the left and across the eye of the needle, then release the needle threader, and the thread is pulled through to the other side of the needle, and you can just pull that loop through and the needle is threaded, then pass the thread under the foot and to the back of the machine. The machine will automatically be set to sew a straight stitch, and to start sewing we just need to lower the presser foot. I just want to mention here that you have got extra presser foot lift on this machine, so if I lift the presser foot to its standard setting, you'll see that there's a small gap between the fabric and the foot, but if I push it up I can create a lot of extra space underneath the foot, and that's great when you're working on bulky projects like quilts or coats or curtains perhaps. To secure your stitches, hold down the reverse button and the machine will sew backwards. Then let go of the reverse button and the machine will now sew forwards. You've also got the option of using the target stitch or fixed stitch. If I press that button, when I sew now, the machine will sew a few stitches on the spot and then stop, and that will secure the stitches for me. So I'm just going to sew now. And the machine stops of its own accord, and then the really exciting bit, we can just press the scissor snips button to cut the threads automatically, so I don't need to bring the fabric off the back of the machine and use the manual thread cutter. I've got that option if I want to use it, but with that button those threads are automatically snipped for me, which is just wonderful, and it's one of those features that once you've had it you will never want to go back. And you can see there we've got that neat fixed stitch where you can't see where the stitches have been secured, and then we've also got the reverse stitch example up here as well. Another feature of this wonderful machine is that you've got the option to press a memory key, and I'll show you that when we come to the control panel later, and that will automatically snip the threads for you after you've used the target stitch, but we'll come to that later in the video. The other thing I want to mention about the fixed stitch as well is that if you select a decorative stitch, so I'm just going to select a nice decorative stitch now, when you press the target button, even if you press it midway through a pattern, the machine will know to complete that last full pattern before securing the stitches. So I'll just demonstrate that now for you. So you can see there, I pressed the target button somewhere around here, but actually the machine knew to continue that last full pattern for me before securing the stitches. I've also got the option on this machine to sew using the start-stop button. So if I unplug the foot control, I can sew by pressing this button. So if I press start, and press it again, you can see I can start and stop the sewing using that button and give my ankle a rest if I need to, or if for any reason I don't want to use the foot control. I can also control the speed using the sliding speed control here. So if I push that down to the slowest speed, you can see that the machine sews at its slowest speed. And then I can also use the sliding speed control in conjunction with the foot control as well. So if I plug that back in, I'm just going to pivot the fabric here. If I put my foot all the way down on the foot control, when it's on the slowest speed, it will only go at the slowest speed. So I'm just going to put my foot all the way down on the foot control now. And you can see no matter how far I push my foot down, it will only sew at the slowest speed. And that's great because we've all been there when you're trying to control the speed with your foot and you accidentally put it down too far and the machine goes faster than you want it to. So it's a great feature to have. Brilliant for when you're working on something that you need to take your time and you just want that real precision and accuracy. So you've seen me refer to the needle up down button as well to raise or lower the needle, and you've probably noticed that when I finish sewing, the machine is set as a default to finish with the needle in the fabric. So if I go ahead and sew now, when I take my foot off the foot control, the needle finishes in the fabric. And the reason this is the default setting is most people want the machine to stop with the needle in the fabric because it enables you to then lift the presser foot, pivot your fabric or check your work, safe in the knowledge that your stitches aren't going to move, your fabric's going to stay where it is, and you've got that confidence. But you do have the option to override that default setting and you can choose to finish with the needle above the fabric. And I'll talk you through that when we come to the control panel later in the video. But while we're here, I also just want to talk about the fact that you have got multiple needle positions on this machine. So when I'm on a straight stitch setting, I can use the stitch width button and I can just use the plus or minus on the stitch width button to move that needle across. Now that's really useful when you're doing things like sewing zips and you want to position your needle in the right position in relation to the teeth of the zip. If you're sewing piping, for example, and you want to make sure that you're getting the stitches as close or as far away from the piping as you want them to be, it just gives you so much more control over your sewing and where you place those stitches. One of the things people love the most about the Janome M100 QDC is just how lovely it is to look at. You've got the colourful logo on the front of the machine, a really neat, easy to use control panel, and you even get a pin cushion included that you can pop on top of the machine, and it's really handy for securing those pins as you remove them as you sew. It also comes with 100 different stitches and they're all displayed on this stitch chart which you can attach to the top of the machine for a quick reference guide. So crafters and quilters love this machine because it's got a great range of decorative stitches, but it also has a brilliant range of utility stitches too. So dressmakers can get a great deal out of this machine too. There's even 7 different styles of one-step buttonhole. If we come back to the control panel, this is one of my favourite features of this machine. On some of the lower end models, you have to navigate your way across from the stitch number to the stitch width to the stitch length before you can then choose to change those numbers. But on the M100 QDC, the buttons to change the stitch numbers are directly beneath that number, and then the buttons to change the stitch width and the stitch length are directly beneath those numbers too. So it's just really logical and really easy and quick to use. You haven't got to navigate your way across between the different options to change them. So I can just change the stitch length, width, or the stitch number, and it's just very, very easy to do. Then once I'm into one of the stitches and I've chosen a stitch, I've chosen stitch number 91 there, you've got these quick reference buttons to get you back to some of the more commonly used stitches, so you haven't got to go through the menus to do that. If I want to go back to a straight stitch, I just press that button and it takes me straight back to that straight stitch. I've also got the option here to select a zigzag stitch, an overcasting stitch, or a one-step buttonhole. So it's just very, very quick and easy to get to those most commonly used stitches. Whilst I'm in the straight stitch mode as well, this is where I can change the needle positions, which I talked to you about earlier in the video, and I do that by using the stitch width buttons. So if I press the minus button, the needle will move to the left, and if I press the plus button, the needle will move to the right. And then finally, you've also got the option to select for your scissors and your thread snips to be on the memory mode. So what this means is if I press the target stitch to secure my stitches at the end of a seam, when this mode is selected, the machine will automatically snip those threads for me. And then if you want to disengage that mode, you just press the button again, and you can see on the screen here that the scissors will be displayed when you've selected that mode, and then they won't be displayed when you've removed it. You'll also see that whichever stitch I select, it tells me what the recommended foot is to use for that stitch as well. So it gives you all the information you need very quickly, very easily, and it's very easy to navigate your way around, select the stitches you want, and get on with your sewing. I also mentioned earlier in the video that I'd show you how you can override the needle stop position setting. So the machine is set up for the needle to finish in the down position in the fabric when you finish sewing. But if you want to override that and you'd like it to finish in the up position above the fabric when you finish sewing, switch the machine off, hold the needle up down button down, switch the machine back on, and you will now see that you're in the settings menu on the screen here. Use the stitch length button to choose whether you want the needle to finish in the down position or in the up position. So if I want to override it and I want it to be set to finish in the up position, I just now press the start stop button, and that has set the machine up now so that it will automatically stop in the up position when I finish sewing. And then to go back to it finishing in the down position, I just repeat the process again but choose the down option. Changing the feet on this machine is super easy. You just press the black button at the back of the ankle there, and the current foot is released. And then to replace it with an alternative, you just line the bar on the top of the foot up with the groove on the bottom of the ankle, and it just snaps into place like so. And one of the great things about this machine is how many feet are included. So when you purchase this machine from us, there are a whopping 11 feet included with it, and we'll talk about that more later in the video, but it is excellent value for money. There's also an incredibly useful accessory tray on the machine, so it just opens like so, and that's where you'll find the one-step buttonhole foot stored when you purchase the machine from us. That's included, but you can also just keep other things in here like bobbins, or perhaps those lovely feet that you get included with the machine. And then we can just slide it off like so and give ourselves the option of sewing with a free arm or a flatbed, as it's sometimes referred to. And this is great when you're doing things like sewing in the round, for example sewing a cuff. You can slide it on over the end of the machine like so, and then work the fabric round, and you'll only sew the top layer of fabric then. You don't run the risk of accidentally catching that bottom layer of fabric. When the accessory tray is removed, this also gives you the opportunity to attach the extension table, which comes free with the M100 QDC when you purchase it from us. And this is another reason why the machine is such great value for money. Normally you would have to purchase one of these separately, but when you purchase the machine from us, you get this included in the box, and it just massively increases your work area. It's great for working on bigger projects like quilts, coats or curtains. It supports the weight of the fabric and just makes it easier to maneuver those bigger projects through the machine. And then you've got markings on the front of the extension table here in inches and centimetres as well, so that you can keep everything on track when you're working on those bigger projects. You also have the option to drop the feed dogs, and on the back of the machine you'll see a lever. If I push that to the right now, if you watch the feed dogs, you'll notice them drop below the needle plate. So I'm just going to push the lever and you can see they have now dropped below the needle plate. And what this allows us to do is to sew free motion embroidery, which means you can manoeuvre the fabric and move it in any direction as you sew. And that enables you to effectively draw using your thread to draw on the fabric. It lets you get really creative. It's a lovely technique to be able to do. And what's even better about this particular model is that you get the free motion or darning foot included in that bonus pack. So normally you would have to buy that separately with a lot of machines, but it's actually included with that bonus pack on this machine, so you can get started with free motion embroidery straight away. To return the machine back to normal sewing mode, just slide the lever across, turn the hand wheel towards you, and the teeth will come back above the needle plate. If you're impressed with all the fantastic features this machine has to offer, just click the link on the screen to visit our website where you can view it in more detail and purchase it there. In the box you'll find everything you would expect: a detailed instruction manual, the foot control, the hard cover, the extension table, some spare bobbins, needles, a screwdriver, a cleaning brush, a seam ripper, plus those 11 sewing machine feet. So the feet included are the standard or zigzag foot, a zipper foot, a one-step automatic buttonhole foot, a blind hem stitch foot, a satin stitch foot, and an over edge foot. Included with the bonus pack you also get a walking foot, which normally you have to purchase separately with most sewing machines, and at the time of recording this video would cost around £60 to purchase separately. So it really is excellent value for money that it's included with this machine. You also get a free motion or darning foot, a stitch in the ditch foot, a 1/4 inch foot, and an open toe satin stitch foot too. And whilst all of those feet are great for quilting and crafting, you can also use a walking foot, a 1/4 inch foot, and a stitch in the ditch foot very regularly with your dressmaking too. If you're interested in how these different feet are used, check out the tutorials on our channel. Then if you want to go even further with your sewing, there's a wide range of feet and accessories available to purchase separately too, and they're all available on our website. Just click the link to visit our site and look for the Janome accessories and you'll see them all there. And if you need any help at all choosing, don't hesitate to contact us. That's what we're here for. I've given you a really good overview of the Janome M100 QDC, but if I've left any of your questions unanswered, don't hesitate to contact us. We're always very happy to help with our expert advice before and after you purchase a machine from us. All of our machines come with a full manufacturer's warranty, so that's 2 years on this one. In the unlikely event that you have a problem, don't hesitate to contact us. The vast majority of the time we can resolve any issues over the phone, but if that's not the case, we'll collect the machine and do everything for you. All of our machines are the best prices, but if you do see this one cheaper anywhere else, please get in touch. We'll be very happy to help. Your machine will be delivered the next working day, free of charge, by courier with a dedicated 1 hour time slot, so you know exactly when that happy post is going to arrive. I hope you're feeling super excited about your new machine, and thanks for watching.